Brian Camareno asks, this is great. Now I understand NT consume a lot better. Could you make a how to SF consume video? So thanks for asking that question, Brian. And what I'm going to do in this video is tailor this video towards individuals that has either SF consume last or SF consume as a demon. So which types will most likely have SF consume as a demon? Those types would be the ENTJ and the INTJ, and this is especially towards the INTJs who most likely will have SF consume last. ESFPs and ISFPs can also have consume last, although it's more rare. I have seen some ESFPs with consume last, but the ISFP consume last is very, very rare. As a matter of fact, I've never seen an ISFP with consume last before. Now, before we jump into how to use SF consume last, it's best to define what each of these functions mean. So SF consume has two parts. The first part is extroverted sensing, and the second part is introverted feeling. How extroverted sensing works is that you are gathering facts and you are also gathering things. You are also comparing facts and can be competitive with the facts, and it's also living in the moment. People with extroverted sensing also prefers a variety of sensory sources like different exercises, eating different food, and they are very comfortable with chaos in the physical world if this individual has extroverted sensing in a savior state. The second part of SF consume is introverted feeling, and how introverted feeling works is that it's an identity function. It's also an internal decider, so it's making a decision for yourself. It's also prioritizing what matters most to yourself. So whenever you want to do something in your life, you're always prioritizing what you want to do. It's also scanning for behavioral consistencies. So just like people with introvert thinking, who when they talk to people, they're always checking to make sure that everything you say is logically consistent, then people with FI will be trying to see if people's behavior are consistent. For example, nothing would bother an FI user more than to see their friend have one personality one moment, and then when they go into public, suddenly they change their personality. So people with FI, especially those with FI as a savior, are not chameleons. They like to be themselves at any given time. And this is because they have a huge focus on authenticity and they tend to get drained by inauthentic people. There's also a focus on personal values as opposed to the tribe values. So the people with introvert feeling can see what the tribe values, but instead of joining with the tribe values, they tend to pick what they personally value as a person. So when you put extrovert sensing and introvert feeling together, you get SF consume. And what is SF consume? SF consume is an introverted animal, and it's a focus on the present. It's gathering and engaging in fun things for the self, and it's gathering new things and popular trends as well. Now, the best way to understand how to best use SF consume and why you should use SF consume is to look at the NT blast and SF consume axis. It's very important that people that have high blast should not blast unless people know the result that they're gonna get from listening to your advice. And usually that specific result are SF results. So it's very important for people with SF consume last or demon to go figure out what that SF result that people want. One of the best example of an individual that has SF consume last is Jeff Cavalier, or you might know him as Athlete X. So he has a fitness channel, and he's always making explainers while having no shirt on so that people can see how ripped he is. And by seeing how ripped he is, then you automatically think that whatever advice he's giving you will also make you rip. And because he's also a physiotherapist, the exercises that he gives people will also make them feel better, which is very SF. Using SF consume is also very important because if you live in NI all day long, it's gonna cause you to have a lot of anxiety. Using SF consume will anchor you back to reality and realize that the world is not such a bad place after all. And doing SF is very fun, and it will give your mind a rest from overdoing that NT blast or NF sleep. Again, by doing things that is fun for you in the present moment, you give your brain a break from getting anxious over what's going to happen in the future. And finally, you want to be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. So those with NT blast in a savior state tend to be productivity machines. So they're always getting things done, and they are very good at getting things done. The problem is they don't take the time to stop and smell the roses and just really enjoy life for what it is. You know, enjoy the simple things in life like cooking a delicious meal, or having dinner with your friends and family members, or playing video games, goofing off, and just doing things in the moment that is very entertaining and enjoyable. So Ray Dalio is a good example of an INTJ with SF consume last. And he learned later in his career that using consume is really the key to success. So I was looking at an interview that Ray Dalio did. So basically what Ray Dalio said is that he'll write down his idea, which is blast, and then he'll triangulate it with the world's greatest expert, which is play. And after they tear it apart, he said he's going to do some research, which is consume. So that's pretty much his system, is blast, play, and consume. And that's okay, because this is a very good system to use all your animals together in order to produce a positive result. So what are some ways that you can do to practice SF consume? Well, one of the things you can do is take scheduled breaks from your work to do some SF consume. So those with SF consume tend to have blast as a savior. And whenever you have blast as savior, then you have a tendency to work and get things done. But doing so is not good for your mind and your body, and you do need to take breaks. And what you can do is you can schedule breaks in between your work to do something fun. You can even time it, so you can have like a 20-minute fun break where you can chat with a friend that you enjoy talking to, or you can go to your cell phone and watch some YouTube videos. Just do something fun before you go back to work. You can also use SF in business by going to different social media platforms and consume what people care about. So see what is popular and see the trends, and then try to integrate that into your business so that you're serving the tribe. And you also want to consume things that you personally enjoy. You don't want to consume things that other people think that you will enjoy. Pick something that you personally like. So if you like to play video games, then go play video games. If you like makeup, then go play with makeup. If you like to go shopping, then go shopping. So go pick something that you personally enjoy. And it's also very important to give yourself permission to do SF consume. So for example, Dave told one of the op members that he has to give himself permission to go play with his RC planes because that's what he enjoys doing. So this is a good way for people with SF consume last or SF consume demon to go practice consume. It's just by giving yourself permission to go practice it to begin with. And it's very important to remember that SF consume is very personal. So pick whatever it is that you enjoy and just do it. Don't worry about being judged by other people. If you have to do it all alone by yourself, then so be it. So if you want to watch something that is a trashy TV show, then by all means go watch a trashy TV show. There's no shame in that. So go pick something that you like and start practicing SF consume today.